up for Ryan Wingfield.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Hannah, everyone. Give it up for her. Great job. I too bleached my asshole. That being said, happy Good Friday, everyone. It's so weird to do a comedy show on Good Friday. So it's the last Friday of Lent, so this is the last chance to watch a Catholic remember they're not supposed to eat meat today, which is always odd. It's always like halfway through the cheeseburger, you can tell they're like, the hell. It's exciting because of course we have Easter coming up on Sunday, which is great. It's the last of the chocolate holidays, you know what I mean? And it really is because like after Easter there will be no more holiday chocolate in stores until the Halloween chocolate comes out in like 2 weeks. So I always thought they want to get like a jump on the next holiday. Like this last year they actually came out with Christmas candy before Halloween. Did you see that? If they do that again this year, do what I did. Buy the Christmas candy and then give it out to trick-or-treaters. It's a lot of fun. Like, oh, happy Halloween. Here's a chocolate Santa. Yeah. It's either really new or really old. Trick-or-treat. I think with the secret to holidays is you have to make sure you celebrate the holiday in the right place, which I don't always do because I do so much traveling. Like just this last month, I celebrated St. Patrick's Day in Utah. #1 drinking holiday in a state where no one drinks. Going to Utah for St. Patrick's Day is like going to Canada for Cinco de Mayo. It's just like... The only thing that was worse than that was like, this is true 2 years ago, I was in England for the 4th of July. It was like I was the only one celebrating. It was so weird. I ended up drunk in front of Buckingham Palace with a sparkler. No taxation without representation. I do get to travel the world doing comedy. I still think that the weirdest stuff that I've ever seen in all my travels has been here in the United States, and I'm not making that up. One of the weirdest things I ever saw was in California. I was in a bar, and the bar had a dispenser machine in it, and the dispenser machine sold pregnancy tests. That's right, pregnancy tests in a bar. And I was looking at that and thinking to myself, like, isn't that something you should find out before you go out drinking? Like, is there really a woman out there who just says to herself, you know what, if I have to pee on a stick, why not wait until I have to break the seal? Can you imagine having to explain that story to your kids someday? Like, Mom, what was it like when you found out you were expecting me? She's like, well, the first thing I did was put down my beer. Then I had to call a taxi cab because I was in no condition to drive home. Anyways, 5 days later, you were born. And, like all you people who are shaking your heads like, oh, I'm going to go to a comedy show and take shit seriously. Oh. So, you didn't hear right in that introduction. I am originally from Alaska. That is where I was born. That is where I grew up. For those of you who are wondering why I don't look like an Eskimo, that is because you are racist. I know, in Idaho, what are the odds? You'd be amazed how often I get that comment though. People are like, you're really from Alaska? Wow! Eskimo. Oh, thank you. You're from California. You're pale for a Mexican. Let's move on. Eskimos and Inuits in Alaska still. In fact, the first girlfriend I ever had growing up was actually half Eskimo, which was actually really cool. Like on our first date, she took me out clubbing. We ended up killing 2 seals. People can groan if you want to. In Alaska, that counts as third base. I'll tell you that right now. I was this close to getting in her mukluks, and I was just happy to have a girlfriend growing up in Alaska. Here's the fun fact about that state. Alaska has the biggest gender gap of anywhere else in the entire world. This is true. In Alaska, men outnumber women by more than 2 to 1. Women up there even have a saying about it. They like to say, in Alaska, the odds are good, but the goods are odd. It's not even a joke. The men have their own saying, of course. It's in Alaska, your chances are slim, and the women, not so much. I don't live in Alaska anymore. I actually live here in Idaho, and I still have parents. I still have parents who live up in Alaska. They're like semi-retired. They have this like little mom and pop motel that they're trying to sell. And I don't know if you guys have know this, but recently they have made marijuana legal in Alaska. I'm gonna party with them after the show. And but here's it. I'm trying to get my parents to like turn their motel into like a marijuana destination to help boost sales. Like the first thing you have to do is rename it the Wake and Bake. Look at you people are like, oh, I want to stay there. And here's the thing, you don't sell marijuana. No, that's a sucker's game. What you do is you give a free joint on every pillow. And then you make sure that every room has a fully stocked minibar with overpriced munchies. That's where you make your real money, that's right. Look for it next year, the Wake and Bake. I'm guessing you're going to need a late checkout. And in case you're wondering, by the way, I did grow up in like a small town in the middle of Alaska. People always ask me that. So if you imagine that my hand is a map of Alaska, I grew up right about there. Okay, and that, by the way, is Alaska's gang symbol. Because then we have people from Michigan like to go Michigan, and people from Idaho go Idaho. Look at the map, people. For the most part, though, people are, if you're curious, like, Idahoans and Alaskans are really like the same type of people. They really are. Most Alaskans, if you want to know, are really just rednecks of the extreme north. Okay, that's the only real difference. You want to know why they have dog sled racing in Alaska? Well, that is what rednecks do when it is too cold for NASCAR. I think the lack of NASCAR is why hockey is so popular in cold places like Alaska and Canada. Hockey is the perfect substitute for NASCAR when you think about it. Okay, the kind of people who like watching NASCAR just so they can see cars get into a big fiery crash, those are the same people who like watching hockey for the bloody fist fights. But look at a hockey rink, it's covered with ads just like the cars are in NASCAR. The only difference between the two sports is that in hockey, the players have mullets and are missing teeth. And in NASCAR, those are the fans. And by the way, I do realize I just pissed off a whole bunch of NASCAR fans. But, you know, I figure if you guys try and chase me after the show, I can just turn right. So, anyone off here tonight. I really hate getting into fights with people. I do. Like last summer, I got into like the stupidest fight with my next door neighbor. This is true. He got mad at me, of all things, because he thought that I was spraying too much weed killer on his dog. And in my defense, the dog's name was Dandelion. Which is ironic because now he's pushing up daisies. Still taking shit seriously, I say. Guys, I would never do that to a dog, okay? I'm a dog lover, I love them. I even feel sorry if I accidentally hurt a dog. I did that last year at one of my comedy trips. I was driving cross country, accidentally hit a dog with my car, okay? Did not kill it, but I did hurt it, okay? And I felt really bad about that, okay? Really bad. Especially because I hit the dog while he was trying to help this blind guy cross the street. And I'll tell you what though, that guy did not see it coming. I completely blindsided him. You should have seen the look on his face when it happened too. It was like his entire life buzzed by his ears. Everyone get it? Who's gonna get it? This is awesome tonight. Well, thanks for coming out, man. This is great. I love these shows. I love the people who come out to these shows. I love how all the women like to dress up when they go out to these shows. Thanks for sitting in the front row, by the way. Well, here's the thing. I actually think this is true. I think a lot of you women are a lot more attractive than you give yourselves credit for. I absolutely mean this too. It's true. You women get too self-conscious about your bodies. I know this from the crazy-ass things you will say to us men that make absolutely no sense, okay? I'll give you an example. The first time I was ever in the bedroom with my wife, okay, she didn't want to take her shirt off in front of me because she felt that she had small breasts, okay? I know, and I had to look at her and go, honey, look, I still want to see them. I don't care if you're an A cup, all right? I don't even care if you're a lowercase A cup. So you can have a nipple that's an any, it wouldn't matter to me. In fact, if you have a nipple that's an any, I kind of want to see it even more. I don't know if I can, but I will suck that thing into an outie if possible. I don't know. I'm just saying, why would any woman ever get self-conscious about something like her breast size? Because I can tell you right now, ladies, no man in this room has ever gone out on a date with a woman where afterwards they went back to her place and that man saw that woman take her clothes off in front of him for the very first time. No man here has looked at that woman and gone, yeah, oh. Glad you guys laughed at that one. My wife hates that joke. I'm not joking about having a wife, though. I am a very happily married to, so far, my first wife. Well, here's the thing, like, people are so cynical about marriage these days. You always hear people say things like, oh, marriage is a failed institution. Half of marriages end in divorce. We've all heard that statistic. This is the part of that statistic that you have never heard, though. 80% of people who get married in this country today will never, I repeat, never get a divorce. The only reason the divorce rate is so high is because people who do get divorced, on average, will get divorced 3 or more times. Institution. It's just that some people really suck at it. okay? And by the way, I'm not saying that if you've been divorced that means you're a bad person or anything. I'm just saying if you've been divorced 3, 4, 5 times, maybe it's you. Maybe you're the asshole, that's all I'm saying. A lot of you are discussing that one, I'll give you time. I'm not worried about my marriage because my wife and I have a very compatible marriage, and I think that's the secret to a good marriage, compatibility. You know, for example, my wife loves to stay up late talking after having sex, which is great because, as it turns out, I talk in my sleep. Some of you will get that later. It's okay. Actually, my wife and I have a great marriage. This is true. On our last anniversary, my wife told me something that I thought was really sweet. She told me that every time we make love, it's just like our first time. Yeah. Which means I haven't gotten any better. Anyways, I do have to get off stage here in a little bit, but I know, but if you guys want to say hi after the show, I'm going to be hanging out with Polly and Hannah and all the comics after the show. Stop by and say hi. By the way, if you are interested, I have like a gag shirt that I sell after shows, just if you're interested. I'm actually kind of proud of it. It says, I don't care if you have small boobs, I still want to see them! And the great thing about this shirt, guys, if it works just once, it pays for itself. I think my favorite thing about this shirt is I always get guys coming up after shows like, dude, I love that shirt, but my wife would never let me wear it. Got it like on a beer koozie or a bumper sticker, I'd buy it. So I now have it on a beer koozie and a bumper sticker. And by the way, this is a great bumper sticker to put on somebody else's car. Like, don't even tell them about it. Just wait a week. They'll come up to you and be like, dude, it has been the weirdest week. It's like women keep pulling up at red lights and flashing me their boobs. And they all have really small boobs. I saw an Indy. It was weird. I'm going to give this to you for sitting in the front row being a good sport tonight. Not that that applies to you in any way. And by the way, if you guys are interested in the t-shirts, just so you know, I have them all the way from adult XXX all the way down to baby onesie. You guys are an awesome crowd, though, man. You guys having fun tonight? Before I got off stage, I think we should just like end on a fun topic that we can all agree on: religion. Good Friday, why the hell not, right? What do you say? I know religion's different for everyone. I myself found Jesus recently. Not the Jesus, but a Jesus. Well, he delivered a pizza to my house, and I heard when you said he probably pronounced the name Jesus, but his name tag read Jesus. Which I thought was a little weird, you know, especially because my single order of breadsticks ended up feeding 50 people. See, that's a Bible joke. If you didn't get it, it means you're going to hell. Don't worry, I'm not judging you. I haven't read the Bible either because I'm Catholic. A few Catholics here tonight, I think. Thought you seemed like heavy drinkers. Here's the thing I was raised a very strict Catholic, very strict. Like the church I went to growing up had an Irish priest. Yeah, that's how strict it was. I even remember his name. It was Father Pat O'File. And, you think that's bad? Our bishop's name was Luke Deadaway. He sucked at his job, I'll tell you that. 20 minutes in, still taking shit seriously. I know some people say you shouldn't joke about religion, and I call those people my mom. I just think there are certain things about religion that are just inherently funny. I mean, does anyone else here ever wonder if Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses ever get into holy turf wars with each other? Like a religious gang fight to see who gets listed on the east side? How is that not funny? Just think of all the Mormons doing drive-bys in their bicycles. Instead of drive-by shootings, though, it's drive-by baptisms where they just throw water balloons filled with holy water.